We want to call it that, it is not that. You know, maybe it is victimization. Maybe it is a form. But compare that. John Ray still has a job. Danielle and Holly were both fired. And so God has blessed them tremendously by causing the PLP government to win and causing them to both benefit well from it. And they deserve to, because they were fired and humiliated by Hank Johnson, and that should never have taken place. And so we got to be careful how we treat people, because when we treat them bad, we set them up for their blessing. We think we're destroying them when in actuality, what we are doing to them is preparing them for God to bless them. Joseph's brothers thought they were destroying him by throwing him into a pit. They thought they were destroying him by selling him. But the reality of the matter was, they were setting him up to not only become the head of Egypt, but also to end up being the very person who had to feed them. You understand what I'm saying to you? They ended up having to depend on that same man who they put in a pit. They threw him away. They ended up having to depend on him to feed them. And all the persons along that line ended up the same place, because Joseph had to feed his brothers. He had to feed Potiphar's wife. He had to feed Potiphar. He had to feed the prison guard, because all the food in Egypt was placed under the control of Joseph. All of it. All of it. You understand? Hold on 1 second. Okay, I think the Starlink is acting up because of the rain. All of it was placed under Joseph care. And so there was nothing that they could do. They couldn't stop him from being who he was. And so here it is. We may have our issues with Daniel, but the reality of the matter is, here's a young lady who went through her humiliation. She dealt with it. Hank fired her and then bragged about it. Fired Holly and bragged about it. And what God did, God turned around and blessed them and made them prosper. Shaunery was not fired. She was not fired. She's still employed. Her salary is still intact. She still has a job. It's just that now she's been moved to a different area. I think she's working under Jamal and Jamal and Bonnie, those, and both of them are related to Danielle. But it is what it is. All of them is family. They're cousins. They're related. And so families sometimes just need to learn how to get along. You know? That's what it is. But we can't, we want to talk about victimization, but let's face facts. Not everything is victimization. What Danielle and Holly experienced, that's victimization. They were targeted and fired and embarrassed. You see, I call it like I see it, and you all know I fought the PLP, for the FNM, for the CR, nobody. I just can tell you how I see it, and this is how I see it. You understand what I'm saying to you? And so, yeah, there are some persons who don't want to acknowledge this, but it is what it is. Now, it is if we have some people who in the ministries doing what they're in business doing. You understand what I'm saying to you? There are some people who in these ministries doing what they're supposed to be doing. I saw a report the other day. I'm going to read it to you. Now, place we never fired Rochelle Anderson. Rochelle Anderson was the district administrator who cost me my job.